We're about to have a conversation with Justin Johnston, who plays Angel in Rent, filmed live on Broadway. He also essayed the role for over 7 years. Let's have a chat with this talented young actor and singer. You were doing the shows and filming the movie.
Yeah, doing the shows and filming the movie. We had a shoot date early in the month of August to get all the close-ups and all that situation. And then on the last day, we also filmed that entire show. So they edited it together, and then what you see in the theaters is going to be a combination of all those shots.
And you haven't seen it yourself either.
No, I have not seen it, and I'm kind of nervous. But I've heard good things about it, and I'm excited. And
it's getting amazing buzz. It really is.
Really,
yeah.
I've literally, purposely separated myself from all of it just so I can be surprised myself, because I know what it was like to film it, but I don't know what everyone else is going to see. So I'm very much in that stage of like, oh man, what's going to happen? But I've heard good things about it, and I mean, it's the piece. It stands alone.
Sure.
It speaks for itself. So. I'm from Indiana, and I went to school at Indiana University in Bloomington, and I was there.
A little bit away from New York.
A little bit away from New York, and I was there doing music. I was, drums, piano, and like some voice and that kind of thing. I wasn't really in the music theater program. They had one there, but I wasn't really. I was like, okay, that's cool. I did some theater in the past, and I appreciated it, but my focus was just doing music. And suddenly, Rent, the auditions came through Indiana. The tour was going to happen there, and they saw everyone there. Since it was a big music program in the school, they figured might as well do some auditions, get it out of the way. And over the course of like maybe 5 days, I was seen 8 times, and I was like, okay. And I didn't know anything about the show, oddly enough. I didn't know anything about it.
You'd never seen it. You just knew it was a phenomenon.
Yeah, I knew there was a drag queen in it. I was like, oh, I can't do that.
And then, especially looking at you now.
Right, yeah. Look. And this is how I looked back then.
A little nervous.
I don't know what they saw in me, because I had all this going on. And they're like, that's Angel. Yeah. But I understudied first. I wasn't Angel initially. I just understudied.
You went on tour, right?
Yeah, I went on tour. After all that, I went on tour. And 10 months later, they closed that touring company down. And I came here in 2001, September 1st. So I was here for the entire...
What a
my
long
journey.
road.
Yeah,
your journey. Literally, the word journey applies. I know I use it a lot. People use it, but it really applies for this.
Man, yeah. I came here in 2001, and then 2002, they asked me to join the Broadway company. And I was here ever since.
And that's it.
First as Steve, and then I came and I did Angel in 2004. I just took the microphone from Eddie. I beat him down with one of the pieces from the Rent props table. I'm playing. But yeah, man, I'm out here now looking at the theater, the aftermath of what I've just been through for 7 years. And a crazed fan broke this down to get to Adam Pascal a long time ago. Look at it.
About how it felt when you got that word that it actually was going to end. Because we know what happens with some shows. They say it's going to end and something happens.
This is funny. They took us downstairs, and Jeffrey, Kevin, and Alan, I love you. They took us downstairs into the green room, and it was like a pizza and beer party. And everybody was like, okay. Like, some people were like, we're closing. And I was like, no, man, we're not.
Just pizza and beer. It's pizza and beer.
Like, they have these periodic, meetings for us to talk, to vent out whatever we're going through. And it keeps everyone a little bit closer, and it keeps us more involved in the show itself. Mm-hmm. So it's a great idea. So when they had this particular meeting, we were downstairs, and Jeffrey told us, like, we've had a lot of these meetings in the past several years, and I'm here to tell you that Rent is closing on June 1st. At the time, it was June 1st. He's on June 1st. And I took it, and from my highest life condition, I was like, okay, good. Okay.
Very zen. You're like, okay.
I'm a Buddhist anyway, so I was like, I can take this.
Yeah.
And
your training allows you.
I was like, I was inside. I was chanting a lot. I was like, okay, this.
So
Yes, I was in it, and I was like, okay, I can take this, and I can either let it make me or break me. And I was so happy that it happened when it did. It was in January. All the holidays were done, so we didn't have to worry about getting anyone any kind of gifts or anything like that. But it was right after it sank in. I had my moment. I'm not gonna lie. Right next door there's a bar, and I sat there with one of the cast members, and I was like, I went through so much with these people, and we were like with alcohol. We were throwing. It was like, oh my gosh, and and people were. It was like midnight by the time we got out of the theater after we had a little moment in the theater, and people were texting us from LA, from all over the. People in Paris were like, "You guys are closing! Oh my God, it's on the news
Once the
right
word
now."
got out, it wasn't huge.
It was tremendous, and it was in the cabs and everything. So it was a lot, but fortunately we had enough time to let it sink in and to work with it and to know that we are closing and to deal with whatever we had to deal with in the show throughout those next couple months, and then when they extended it, even more of a reward. We were like appreciative. This is so weird right now. I can't believe it. Like. All of the posters are gone. It's kind of strange. You have to forgive me if I'm at a loss for words, because it's like looking at the Titanic underwater. Okay, here we go. Hope no one gets hurt. Whoa. Okay, can you see this? I think that they're drilling right now, but there used to be a lot of red chairs right here. I mean, it's been forever. I didn't even know that there was an orchestra pit. Look at that. There's an orchestra pit. Who knew? The entire, I'm not sure if you can get in there, the entire set is gone. The whole, where the band used to sit is entirely taken down. Wow, man. Well, I'd say that they needed to either gut this theater or burn it down, because there was a lot of mold going on. But now that's entirely cleared out, so I'm happy for the next people who come in here, the next show that comes in here. You'll have a clean theater.
I know one of the big things for you is when Adam Pascal and Anthony Rapp came back.
Yes. Yeah.
And you did Angel with them, which,
That was, see, because I was here for when the first celebrity came, when Joy Fatone came in. That's right. I saw all of that, how the audiences, just the reactions, the differences in who the people were that were singing the show, the audience goers, who those people were, to see these little kids, and then to come back.
The audience changes.
The audience would change. Now we see the reaction to all these different cast changes going on within the company. Yeah. And when Adam and Anthony came, I was like, oh wow, because it became opening night every night. All of this here was filled with. It was quite scary a little bit, but it was all filled with people, and it was It was very honest. I felt my show change when they came in. I was like, okay, because I always like to conform with whatever's going on.
Right.
Because if you are stagnant, it dies.
You have to, right? Exactly.
So
every night has to be new. Every night's opening night, like you said. Every night is a new audience. They're coming. Many of them. Rent has a lot of repeat customers, and we see all their names and their stuff in here. But still, it is new for the majority of an audience. Yes. So you're bringing something new to it.
And because it's so personal and so we're so, it's just us on stage. Yeah. The set's very minimal. We had to
focuses on the actors. That's what's.
You got to be real.
That's what touched people from the beginning with this, because up until that point, the sets and everything else, and everything sort of informed the audience what they were supposed to see. Yeah. This, it allowed you to see sort of what you wanted,
and
or
see
what
who you knew,
who they were.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
Right. And see themselves.
Yeah,
at the end of the day. Why they
basically, it's because there were numerous times where people who were living with HIV came up to me after the show and was like, you spoke what I've been trying to say for so long, or you were my uncle, you were my cousin, and you so honest, because it was so easy going into the track, since you're all in this, you're drawn in this certain way of
it's a heightened ability to get her.
So it's easy to be to go a certain way with the character. But I was like, no, let me see what it's like to do it this way.
Rent. It's not going to be a Rent type theater anymore. That's for sure. We've taken another step towards civilization.
there you say. Let's put lights.
Will always be Rent. All right. Rent will always be right here. All right. Always.
If I could see myself from 7 years ago when I first got this to now, I'll probably break down because I'm not the same person.
No.
Like I'm very happy, all the good and the bad and everything that I went through in this experience. I love it, and I knew going through the hard times in this show that I'm gonna look back on and say these exact words. Like, man, I'm gonna, when this thing closes or when I leave the show, I'm gonna look at all of this, the times I had here, and be like, wow, that developed me as a human being.
Yeah.
Not just a performer, because I'm taking these things I learned here and living it in my daily life.
And that's what Rent does. That's what Rent's been doing. I mean, so many people I talked to when the show was starting to close, both actors and the fans, they changed.
Yeah.
You can't be the same person because you can't do a show like this.
Can't be the same.
You can't be the same.
Can't be the
You're
same.
dealing with death, and you're dealing with loss and regret and hope.
Yeah.
Isn't that what you have? You know?
And like, all that fear. Like the one thing people feared the most was regret.
Yeah.
So I knew that would. Jonathan was a genius. Oh my gosh, to put all that in this capacity. So I take away, because I knew that I probably wouldn't be doing something like this on this caliber. Not necessarily this caliber with this type of message.
Yeah.
Again, unless it was like maybe my music, but
right. And that's going to inform you to continue that kind of message in your music.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's. I just can't believe what's going on. I can't believe that I'm standing here now and the poster's not out there. The Rent marquee isn't, up here, and the entire
and they're banging, they're ripping everything out.
Everything you hear right now, like they're gutting everything out, and I'm seeing pieces of the theater putting into this dumpster, and I was like even during the interview, I've been looking at things. I'm like, I remember that. Oh my God, you throwing it away? You throwing it away? So
I'll take it.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, man. It belongs like the Met or something, But,
well, I think it will live on. I mean, I think it's always going to be in you. It's always going to be in you. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Absolutely.
Everybody, go see the movie Rent, filmed live on Broadway.
Forget, regret, all life is yours to miss.